Hello and welcome to CATEX-TV. I'm Tom Bailey in London. It's 4:30 PM in London, 11:30 Eastern Time and 12:30 in Bermuda. Today in history. Today in 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. gave his I Have a Dream speech at Lincoln Memorial. Today in 1973, a 6.8 Richter scale earthquake centered on the Oaxaca state in Mexico killed 527 people. And today in 1990, Iraq declared Kuwait its 19th province, leading to the First Gulf War. And now for news. The bodies of 7 suspected pirates had been washed up on the shores of Somalia after a group of Egyptian fishermen overpowered them to escape following 4 months in captivity. Witnesses said that a number of the bodies found on Saturday had bullet wounds from their scuffles with the captives. The crewmen from 2 Egyptian vessels captured off the coast of Yemen were travelling back to Egypt with 8 of their former captors, according to Mohammed Nasser, the owner of one of the boats. He said that 33 fishermen had turned down an offer from the Egyptian government for them to be flown back from Yemen. According to a Yemeni businessman who hired the boats, Ahmed Samar and the Motazma 1, the fishermen on both vessels coordinated their attacks on Thursday, and some of the pirates even cooperated with them. Mohammed Al-Nadi, the executive manager of Musca Marine Products, said the crew on both boats started their operations at one time. They were both coordinating amongst themselves. He said that he had been in the town of Boasaso in Somalia for more than a month trying to negotiate their release, but talks had become deadlocked over the amount of ransom to be paid. The pirates had reportedly been celebrating the release of an Italian tugboat which had been taken alongside the 2 Egyptian fishing boats, for which they had been paid $4 million in ransom when the Egyptians made their move. Pirate attacks had more than doubled in the first half of 2009, with 130 cases taking place in the Gulf of Aden, according to international maritime officials. International naval patrols in the region have failed to halt the attacks. Tropical Storm Dani is the 4th named storm of the 2009 Atlantic hurricane season and is taking a course parallel to the US East Coast before making landfall, which is expected to be in Nova Scotia on Sunday. Tropical Storm Dani is currently reaching maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour, below the 74 miles per hour benchmark for classification as a Category 1 hurricane. Forecasters at the U.S. National Hurricane Center, part of the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Agency, the NOAA, say that the storm has less than 10% chance of showing hurricane strength when it makes landfall. On Thursday afternoon, so yesterday afternoon at 1 PM Greenwich Mean Time, Tropical Storm Dani was located 500 miles east of Florida, moving north-northwest at 10 miles an hour. In the Western Pacific, Tropical Storm 12 has sustained winds of 40 knots and is currently tracking to the northwest and is projected to make landfall in southern Japan. Depressions Hilda and Ignacio are still in the Eastern Pacific, and neither is projected to make landfall. French insurer Groupama has seen its first half 2009 profits slashed by almost half in the wake of storms that hit the south of France at the start of the year. The company reported a first half operating profit of 115 million euros, down 49.6% on the 228 million euros it recorded for the same period of 2008. Groupama's property and casualty insurance segment reported a loss of 41 million euros, down heavily on the profit of 156 million euros it reported over the first half of 2008. The company said that it had been hit by an insured damages bill of 135 million euros for winter storms Klaus and Quintin, both of which hit France with high winds and heavy flooding in January and February. Of the two, Klaus was a stronger and more destructive, with some insured loss estimates for the industry going as high as 1.8 billion euros. Groupama reported a profit of 240 million euros for its life and health insurance segment, a rise of 71.4% on the 140 million euros it made for the first half of 2008. Its finance and banking activities segment reported a 4 million euros profit for the period, an improvement on the loss of 2 million euros it made over the first 6 months of 2008. And Groupama said it expects strong growth in revenues for the remainder of the year, along with ongoing improvement in solvency. Now, as part of its plan to target niche business opportunities, Hardy Underwriting is expanding its property book to cover construction and engineering for the first time after appointing a specialist underwriter from Zurich. Chief Executive Barbara Merry said Steve Cross is due to start in October at Hardy's London office, where his focus will be on building a portfolio of business focused on the Middle and Far East. Ms. Berry said that although the recession has slowed down the commercial development in areas such as Dubai, government-backed infrastructure projects have led to opportunities elsewhere in the region. Ms. Berry was reported as saying, "Our growth will partly come from finding niche areas and entering new geographies. Where we see opportunities, we will recruit someone who can build us in that class." She added that between 10 and 15 million pounds in capital deployment could be allocated to developing the new construction book, although a firm figure would not be agreed until the business plan has been set. Meanwhile, Hardy reported its half-year results, which showed profits severely impacted by fluctuating foreign exchange rates, while profit before tax and foreign exchange movements rose significantly to 18.7 million compared with 7.3 million for the same period last year. Pre-tax profits deteriorated to 7.8 million compared with 8.7 for the previous year's same period. The insurer reported a combined ratio before foreign exchange movements of 75.7% compared with 85% for the same period last year. However, the overall combined ratio rose to 87.7% compared with 83.3% for the same period last year. Gross written premiums rose 54% to 149.9 million compared with 97 million for the same period last year. And Ms. Merry finally commented, "We have a big portfolio in yen, US dollars and euros, and the position of sterling against those three in particular has been very unpredictable. We tend to focus on what we can do to have some control over, which is the underwriting." Chaucer is also reporting profits of Chaucer, which rejected a takeover approach from rival Brit in June, more than quadrupled to £17 million during the first 6 months of the year, rising from £3.9 million for the same period in 2008. Profit before foreign exchange adjustments rose to £52.6 million from £3.4 million. The result was driven by a jump in investment income from £1.5 million to £34.6 million, as the company benefited from a recovery in global equity markets and hedge fund investments. The figures mirror those at insurers such as Amlin, Catlin and Hiscox, who have also gained from resurgent investment returns. Chaucer saw its combined ratio improve from 97.2% to 91.3%. This measures costs and claims as a percentage of premium, with figures below 100 indicating an underwriting profit. And finally, Bermudan-based Omega, which moved to the main London market in July, reported a slight dip in profits to $22.9 million from $24.5 million for the same period last year. The insurer said the fall was impacted by a one-off cost of $2.2 million as the company graduated from the junior AIM market. Omega's investment income rose to $11 million from $7 million last year, and its combined ratio improved to 82.5 million, up from 83.7 million in 2008. That's all from us today. We'll be back with you at the same time on Monday. Thank you very much.